This is the first shot of a Punjabi song that talks about cars. Before even a single 808 hits, we see a guy on a horse riding into the gold fields and no cars to be seen anywhere close to the video. Since I wrote and directed this video, every time anyone watches this, they have two questions. One, why does a flex rap video start as if it's about to tell you a legend? And second, why are there no cars in a music video that talks about cars? I'm going to answer that, and I'm going to tell you why I think most Punjabi music videos couldn't make this decision even if they wanted to, and why this video hit 1 million views. Part 1. Why was this necessary? I need to be honest where this came from because it wasn't just inspiration but also part frustration. If you've watched any Punjabi music video in the last couple of years, I think you've seen the formula. Guns, cars, a guy standing in the middle of a field or in front of a farmhouse rapping directly at the camera. A girl or a bunch of girls come in, they look good, and then leave without any narrative function at all. Repeat that 3 times. I'm not saying that to insult anyone. I say that because I was given the exact same brief over and over again. And I got tired directing the same thing that everyone has been doing again and again without any thought. So when this song came in and I was listening to it with my DP, I made this decision early on, which was going to contradict every pre-production meeting in a Punjabi music production house. I was going to run 2 aesthetics which completely contradict each other and let them fight on screen. On one side, spaghetti western mid-scale landscape, cut against ornate ancestral interiors, cut against floral, soft, silk-like visuals, scored to the beat. That collision was deliberate. It was the hook before the plot even started. And there is a hidden Greek mythology in the entire video which I will reveal soon. And the girl I refused to shoot like a prop. Sunburst halo crown, ivory shawl draped like a Madonna, portraits lining the hallway as if she's walking through her own shrine. She hasn't done anything yet in the video, yet you already know that she's untouchable. She isn't a decoration. She is the plot hidden in wardrobe and blocking. These decisions were deliberate and they were done for 2 reasons. First one, to show that something is off and to pull into the audience's curiosity angle. Second, it's an important hint in the Greek mythology that I used as an inspiration. Here's the premise I wrote the entire treatment around in case you didn't already guess. He has the Midas touch. Everything that he touches turns to gold, which turned out to be more of a curse than a boon. She knows it. She wants to use it. That's it. That's the one-liner that the entire video is built on. All the decisions taken are to support this larger narrative arc. But there is a twist at the end, how it all binds with the lyrics. I'll talk about it soon in a later section. Stay for it. Before all that, I want to talk about a very important element, which is color palette. And if you have seen my other videos, you know how important color is in order to guide the emotion of the viewer. Watch the color here, because this was a rule I gave my colorist on day 1. This entire video will have one tonal family, gold, amber, ivory, and for almost first half, nothing breaks it. I wanted the viewers to get used to the palette. The emotion that it generates was luxury, greed, royalty, except this one shot, red. That's the only non-gold moment in the video, and I put it right there where temptation enters in the frame. I was thinking either an apple or a pomegranate while writing it because that would serve as a myth under a myth. In Greek mythology, eating the fruit is what binds you to the underworld. Her, not him. So the trap she thinks she's setting is actually something that seals her own fate. I wanted that read to be available for whoever wanted to dig for it without it being the requirement to enjoy the video. Otherwise, it's a cool looking shot. And when the curse lands on her, I shot that slow, dripping, almost sculptural on purpose. Not glossy VFX flash. If it looked glamorous, it would not land as a punishment. I wanted it to feel uncomfortable and shocking without leaving the realm of the music video. Features are where most music videos fall apart. You either quarantine the featured artist into this disintegrated cutaway, or you crowd them into someone else's aesthetic and they disappear. I didn't want to do either. So I wrote Fateh Shergill's section as a parallel universe inside the same myth, and not as a separate scene bolted on. Brar's world is metal, gold, green, western, hard materials, hard light. Fateh's world is softer. Flowers, secrets, organic textures inside of gilded ones. Same curse, completely different relationship to it. Brar owns his curse, whereas Fateh questions it, and he doesn't like the answer that he gets. That's the moment I built this whole section around. He opens the trunk, and what's inside is what shocks him. Where Brar's arc ends in ownership, Fateh's arc ends in doubt. I wanted the audience to feel like they are in this second chapter of the same book and not just a guest verse. Two men, one curse, two completely different endings. And none of them tell you which one is correct. That's for you to decide. The twist I wrote on purpose. He outsmarts her, that's a plot beat. And honestly, an easy part to write. Here's the thing that I actually cared about. He doesn't win by escaping the curse. He wins by owning it. He never wanted to be cured. I wrote it that way because I'm bored of I beat the odds ending. Instead, I wanted curse is the flex. That's a more exciting idea than most of the things made in the genre right now. And why no cars were used? Well, the song talks about the flex and confidence that the guy has in himself, and that the girls will look for him in other cars when he's gone for good. Now, horse is a way powerful symbol as compared to a car, especially in a video that's based on a mythology. So symbolically, a horse will do the same thing as a car. Again, this is for people who want to dig in and find something under the covers. If not, it's a cool looking shot. Part 4, what I actually did in the edit. Okay, so I want to slow down here a bit because this is the part which I don't think I've actually explained out loud. And I went back and mapped it all frame by frame to explain it to you. I cut this against the song's energy, not against a fixed rhythm. This was done on purpose. The horse open, barely any cuts, one sustained take. Quiet part of the song, patient edit. I held that shot far longer than most editors would let me. Then a fast cluster of cuts right where the energy first spikes. Then, and this is the choice I was most nervous about, I dropped back to almost no cuts. That's the shrine, the temptation build, and the gold rip setup. Every instinct in this genre says, cut every 2 seconds or you'll lose the viewer. I bet against that instinct. I let it hold, and I'm glad the viewer responded by watching. Then the chorus hits, and I let the cutting go nuts. 15 plus cuts in under a minute, right when the waveform is loudest. Slow parts get long takes, loud parts get rapid cuts. I wanted the edit to breathe through the song instead of sitting on top of it. Nobody consciously notices it while watching it once, but it's a big part why it doesn't feel like another cut fest. Part 5, where I think I got it wrong. I'm not going to tell you that it's flawless because it isn't, and pretending that it is would make this the worst episode and a worse lesson for you. The chorus section, my dense cut zone, is the least distinctive part of my own video. This is where it starts looking like everything else in the genre. Quick cuts, performance shots, jewelry coverage. My own concept steps back exactly where I wanted it to step forward hardest. If I'm being honest with myself, that's the one place I defaulted to genre grammar instead of pushing the myth further. I'd fix that if I reshot the edit today. Small notes, not deal breakers, but real ones. And I'd rather tell you instead of letting you think that it was effortless. Part 6, why I think it actually hit 1 million. Here's my honest read, and this is where I'm going to say something that most people in the industry won't like. I think Punjabi music industry broadly has been making the same video for years. Cars, weapons, farmhouse, a girl with no narrative function at all, a guy rapping directly at the camera. It works. In fact, some of these do huge numbers, but it works like a jingle works. It's recognition, but not a story. And I think the audience is exhausted, even though they keep clicking and cannot differentiate one song from another. So when something shows up with an actual myth structure, a real color discipline, a girl who's coded as a character instead of a backdrop, and of course, great musical collaboration, it doesn't just get watched, it gets shared with a caption. Because it's different enough to be someone's social capital to share. That's an actual mechanism. Most videos in this space are optimized to be watched once. I optimized this one to be discussed and talked about. Second, the cut to watch synergy makes it rewatchable even though the viewer doesn't know why. It just feels well made. That keeps the completion rate up, and a completion rate is what algorithm actually rewards. The horse bookend and the shrine imagery is unusual enough to be actually talked about and commented. Why does this open like this? Or why are there no cars in this? Are exactly the comments that push the video further. Number 4, none of this needed more budget than the videos I'm criticizing. Myth literacy and editing discipline does the work that usually money does. That's the part of this industry conversation that I want people to actually sit with. The ceiling of these videos isn't the budget, it's ambition. Why this is a brand strategy and not just a video? This connects to something I've been saying in my recent newsletter. Music video isn't a promotional afterthought anymore. For an artist, it's a brand document. It's doing the same job that a brand film does for a company, establishing a visual language, a set of specific rules, and a world that people can recognize and re-enter. So when I made this around Midas and not a guy raps in a field, I wasn't just making a different video. I gave Vibrar something that a generic flex video would never give an artist. Specificity that's ownable. A horse and a gold curse are harder to copy than a chain and a car. That's an actual brand asset, not the video. And the reason it gets shares and not just views comes back to the same principle I keep repeating to brands. Earned attention beats paid attention every time, but only if there's something specific in the frame that's worth someone's time. Generic is invisible, specific is memorable, and memorable is what gets decoded, screenshotted, and shared. Part 7, how you can steal this. Screenshot this part. Number 1, cut speed should track song energy, not a fixed rhythm. Map your edit's density to waveform before you touch performance footage. Number 2, hold your slow sections longer than what feels comfortable. The urge to cut every 2 seconds is usually fear, not craft. Let's break the goldfish myth. Number 3, don't let your concept disappear during the highest energy section. That's exactly where people are paying the most attention. It should carry the most weight, not the least. 4, myth bookend your structure and translate your most of the moment lyric into an image that isn't. A line about being remembered from the cars becomes a horse. Timeless outlasts trendy. Number 5, let your villain look holy before you reveal their intentions and resolve on stillness, not celebration. The confidence is in what's absent, not what's performed. I made a 3-minute rap video with a horse, a fruit, a color rule, and an edit that listens to its own song. That's not bigger budget than what most people have access to. That's a bigger idea. And I think the industry has more space than people give it credit for. Not to post, to move people, that's the job. I make music videos and brand strategies for artists who want to build a legacy. If you're stuck in a rut, or if you want to expand your musical universe, I'm available for a call. Just send me an email and I'll connect with you ASAP. And if you want that filmmaking strategy sheet that I keep yapping about in every episode, just subscribe to Beehive. Link is in the description and it will land directly in your inbox. Subscribe if you haven't already, because I do these deep dives every week on things that can be branded, marketed, or converted into stories. See you next time.